Hi, this is Motley Pony Studio. I'm going to be working with the Hanoverian mold from Breyer to make an Appaloosa sport horse. I really love Appaloosas, so I've painted them a few times, and I think I'm getting pretty good at them. I only started customizing this year, so I'm still trying to figure it all out, but this is just how I do it. I start out with pan pastels and I put a few layers of that on, and you have to make sure you seal in between, but they eventually do darken up into a really nice base coat. This horse is going to be a bay blanket Appaloosa, so I'm not going to paint the backside, and I'm going to make sure I get this black on all his points. I'm also going to touch his face with some gray to show his skin tone around his eyes and his muzzle. After I seal him, I'm going to put on a really thin layer of acrylics. This should take out some of the graininess from the pastels. He's also going to be a very dark bay, so this will darken his color and make him look like what I really want him to look like. Here I'm going to go ahead and add that black as well. It's going to really deepen his color. Like I said, it'll darken it up, so he's going to look really bay, real bay now. And here we go, he's dark, he's bay, he's looking good. Oh wait, nope, there's a spot. Look at that spot. It's going to be okay though, because we're going to keep darkening him, and that's going to cover that up. So just keep going. Don't let little mistakes like that get to you, because they're going to be covered up. It's going to be fine. So here you see I start my markings with hairs. I love doing this effect, but I'm not very good at it yet. And as you can see, I started some hairs going the wrong direction. There is a guide you can download for this. Make sure you look at your references. In my case, I'm just gonna make that marking a little more solid so you don't really have to see it. So now you can start seeing me doing hairs the correct direction. This technique can be pretty tedious, but if you do live showing, they do appreciate that level of detail, and it's just fun to look at. It's really realistic. So now you see I've done the whole blanket. I saved you guys that. And now we're going to do some more hairs on the back legs. For the blanket, it is going to take multiple layers of white. This takes a ton of sealing and a ton of white. I would say it took me about 6 layers to do this. There's another cover up, another fill in. And of course you want to do the markings as well. You want everything to be a really nice solid white when you get finished. I'm noticing some graininess in his paint again, so I'm just going to go over it with a little more acrylic to see if I can't get that nice and smooth. You may notice that I only do one side at a time. In the past, I've had trouble making a mess and messing up markings if I do flip him back and forth, so I only do one side now. So here we go on the next side, finally. As with the first side, we have to do all the layers of white again, just to get it nice and thick and solid. When I'm doing hairs, I have a reference, but I don't always look at it for everything. A lot of times I just kind of feel it out and I put hairs whenever I think they should be there. Appaloosas don't have specific markings. It's always different. There are so many different kinds, and it's really fun to play around with them and make your own, just whatever you want it to be. And then every horse artist's nightmare happened. He fell over while his sealer was wet. There was dirt stuck in his paint, and I panicked. I immediately tried brushing it out and then tried sandpaper, which took a bigger chunk out of him, and I thought all was lost. After giving up a while, I came back and he was dry enough to sand smooth without taking all the paint off, so I decided to try and paint over the problem. When you're learning, you just can't give up, and you gotta keep trying things. So just because I can cover the mistake doesn't mean I forgot, and I don't want it to happen again, so right now I'm going to make a stand. I use a couple of popsicle sticks and some hot glue. My hot glue is not that hot, guys, so just letting you know, if you see me touching it, don't touch yours. It could be really hot. I just make some marks on it, and I put a little dab, and I stick him to it. So this is now his stand. It's actually great because usually I hold him by his tail, and you can see how dirty his tail is from like the pastels and whatever else has been on my hands. That's why I try not to touch the model, because it can be a mess. And here we go with some new spots. I've used a very light gray. Now remember that acrylics dry darker, so you're not even barely going to see these, but when they dry, you will. My reference Appaloosa has a ton of freckles, so I've never really done freckles before, but I really liked that effect, so we're gonna practice it, we're gonna try it. And this is just setting up mapping. This is his mapping for his big black spot, so freckles, mapping, this is what we're doing. Here I'm doing black spots. I try to keep them pretty round, but you can feather them like the hairs. And here I go back to the freckles because belly freckles, fun. You gotta have them. Awesome. He is looking so good. I'm really excited about him. Now we're going to start on the mane. He is a bay, so he will have a black mane and tail. But, I mean, he's an Appaloosa, so he's got some of that white. He's going to have some of his markings showing up within those hairs. And now we have the eyes. We're going to try to get this nice little flesh tone in for the base. This is something I learned from a tutorial by Stephanie Blaylock. I really love her eyes, and I am nowhere as good as she is, but I am trying. I'm going to practice and try to do like that. I'm going to black out the brown part. It will be brown, but we're going to give it a nice dark outline first. Next, I'm going to add brown for the base coat of the eye. And after that, I put a little bit of gold in there to kind of make his eye stand out more. Then you can do his pupil. So his pupil is sideways, you know those ovals. And now we're ready to remove him from his stand. Oh, let go. Come on. And there he is. You can pull all that glue off if you have like a little tool. Just grab some of that. Next, let's not forget that he does have his belly pinking to do. They're kind of fleshy on the belly side, so I like to make them a little pink under there to make them more realistic. And we're going to paint these hooves. His hooves I just do in like a light brown, and I do a little bit of striping to show some of his markings in them. And he's done. You can check out more of my customs on Instagram, Motley Pony Studio. Thanks for watching my video, and please comment below and tell me what you thought. See you next time.